Hello guys, welcome to this video tutorial. In this video, we are going to cover top proven strategies to win Selenium interview. This is Bakshu from MeritPros. First, we are going to look at top 2 challenges when attending interviews and solutions for those. Then we are going to look at different strategies to win Selenium interview. There are important strategies like tailoring your resume, interview questions and preparation. There are really good tips and tactics. Then after that, we are going to look at after interview strategy, like after the interview, what are the different strategies you need to follow. You can also download Selenium Interview Questions and Answers. We are going to look into that soon. So stay tuned and watch till end of the video. Going forward, subscribe to our YouTube channel, join our YouTube family. Click the subscribe button to never miss our videos and watch them first. Also like the video and comment on the video. It is really going to motivate me. Let's look at top 2 challenges or issues and then some background information about that. The first one is, I'm attending so many interviews but I'm not getting selected. I hear this a lot and lot of people face this issue. It's like after attending 1, 2, 3 or many more interviews, you are still not selected and you don't have the job. So this is also a increasing situation. So many people are facing this. Then we have the next challenge, that is sequence of the first challenge. So after the first issue, slowly you are going to face the second issue. After attending so many interviews and unfortunately not being successful, then when you have the next interview, you will be either afraid to attend the interview or you are very tense to win the interview. It's like, I must win this interview. So the pressure will be increasing. Interview to interview, you are going to get that pressure will be increasing. So these two are the top challenges or top issues. Then we are going to solve them by following these steps. So we have steps here, these 3 steps. So by following these 3, we are going to solve those issues. We are going to set your mind to win the interview, to win the job. We are going to increase your confidence. So whatever required, whatever those steps and strategies we are going to learn. Then we are going to go through best strategies for interview questions and preparation. So what are different best ways, recommended guidelines or strategies to prepare for the interview, to prepare for the interview questions. Then at the same time, you need to perform well in the interview as well. So we are going to see about that as well. Once you know the strategies, how to implement those, then how to perform well in the interview. Then by doing all these are the benefits you are going to get. So with all this, you are going to perform each interview with confidence. So each interview you are going to perform very well with confidence, and then after attending 1, 2, 3, like one after one interviews, at the end you are going to get the job. It's not like for the first interview itself you are going to get the job. If you are lucky, that's really great, even I hope so, but it's an incremental process. It's like a learning path. So 1, 2, 3, or even if you are very perfect, even in the first interview you can get the job. So I hope so you get the job even in the first interview. Okay, so these are the topics we are going to cover. Let's go through them one by one. So first, there are few things that you need to do before applying for the job. Then once you apply for the job, you need to be prepared for interviews. So Selenium Interview Questions and Answers, you need to be prepared for that. Then once you are prepared for interviews, definitely you are going to get the interview calls. So you need to schedule the interview. Then after that, you need to focus on the interview. So these are the things that need to be done to focus on the interview. Then once the interview is done, you need to do a few things like follow up, then maintaining good relationship with recruitment agencies, and then you need to get the feedback and keep improving. So after the interview, you need to do a few things. Then This is a quite common question, very frequently asked question, like I don't have real-time experience for some skills or tools. Let's say there is a new tool or new skill, then it's very hard to get real-time experience, that is very new tool. Then what to do? So you have mastered the tool, you have learned the tool, but you don't have real-time experience, you haven't worked on a real-time project. Then in interview, when you are asked about that tool, then how to deal in that situation, in that scenario. So we are going to cover this in the end and then conclusion. So watch the whole session. Let's get started with our first topic, must do stuff before applying for jobs. Before preparing for the interview, before attending the interview, there are few things you need to do so that you are ready for the whole job search process. So the first thing is set your mind to win the interview and job, because you are determined to face the interviews, you are determined to do the job, so you have to win the job. So you need to set your mindset, you need to be confident, you need to be positive. Then set the time limit to get the job. It's not like you're going to continuously search for the job. You need to set a time limit, like 3 months time or 6 months time. Then within that time limit, properly do the job search, properly apply for the jobs, attend the interviews. Then once the time limit is done, you can review, then you can take the next steps. So you need to set the time limit, then you need to set the goals, then you need to review and then take the next steps. So set a proper time limit like 3 months or 6 months, then start with this process. Define your dream job and skill set. This is really important. You just don't want to go and do every job. There are different job roles, there are different types of responsibilities, but define your dream job. Like I want to do Selenium and web automation using Java, and then Jenkins, continuous integration, Maven. So the proper skill set, your dream job, define that so that you can plan your career around that. Then have your best resume ready. This is really important for applying jobs. So whenever you are applying for a specific job, you are applying with a resume. It's not like you are calling and you are explaining all your experience. Definitely you need resume to apply for a job. Then based on your best resume, based on the resume that is ideal for your dream job and skill set, create few tailored resumes, create few templates so that you can apply for different related jobs. It's not ideal that you are going to always get your dream job. Sometimes you need to bend yourself. Sometimes there is a very much related job, like with minor changes or with few changes, there is very much related job. So you can apply for that as well. So have few tailored resume templates so that you can apply for related jobs as well. So these are must do stuff before applying for jobs. Then once you are ready with that, apply for the jobs. Register and upload your best resume to required sites. So there are different job portals, then there are different recruitment agency portals, then we have employer sites as well. So whatever your interested employers, go to those sites and then register and apply for the jobs. Once you are ready for the job search, then once you have your best resume and then tailored resume templates, you have to do this, register and upload your best resume to required job sites. You need to be very active and then you need to apply for jobs as well. So every day dedicate some time, then look for the latest jobs and then start applying for suitable jobs. Tailor your resume for each job you are applying for, because that is really important. Like a recruiter is going to get around 300 resumes per job or even more, it depends on demand. So let's say a recruiter is getting 300 resumes per job, then he need to go through all those resumes and he need to shortlist the candidates. So it is really important that you are going to tailor your resume as per the job spec and then as per the job requirement, so that you are going to stand out from that crowd, you are going to stand out from those 300 resumes. So please tailor your resume for each job before applying. Highlight your experience for the job spec, highlight your responsibilities for the job spec. So get them to the front, get them to the beginning, then highlight that. That's why we have tailored resume templates for different roles. So once you have those templates, you don't need to do extra work. Like Okay, for this job spec I have this template. You can just go through them, make few minor changes and apply. So have your best resume and then few resume templates so that you can easily tailor for each job. Then I have a quick question for you, just yes or no. So think, and then are you tailoring your resume for each job you are applying for? Yes or no? Just think, take a moment. If the answer is no, please start doing that. Then going further, we are going to look at Selenium interview questions and answers. Once you start applying for jobs, you need to be ready for interviews. It is like you are ready, you are applying for the jobs, then you are going to get the calls. So before that, you need to be ready for the interviews. You need to be prepared. So once you start applying for jobs, you need to be ready for interviews. The first step is preparing for Selenium interview questions and then answers. So these are like very frequently asked interview questions, and then I have answers for them. I have prepared myself for those answers. So you need to be ready with Selenium interview questions and answers. Generally, the whole interview process will be focused on these three things. So we have like these three important areas, and the whole interview process will be based on these three. The first thing is what skills or experience required for the job, like Selenium and then continuous integration and then Maven hybrid automation framework. So what skills or experience required for the job? This is mentioned in the job spec. Then the next thing is what skills or experience you have to do the job. You have Selenium experience, then you have hybrid automation experience from scratch, you have TestNG experience. So this is mentioned in your resume. So it's like we have job spec giving all the details about the job, then we have resume giving all the details about you, then we have the interview to match these two and then to find the right candidate. Now you need to make interviewers believe that you can do the job. So within the interview, within the whole process, there are going to be different types of checks or tests. You need to make interviewers believe that you can do the job. So this is the whole interview process. Then as part of that, be prepared for generic questions. So we have few generic questions. They will be asked in every interview. So be prepared for those generic questions. So I have few generic questions here. Tell me about yourself. That is very frequently asked. Tell me about your Selenium experience or current project. So this is regarding your current experience or current project you are working on. What challenges or problems did you face when using Selenium or when using a specific tool? Then how did you solve them? This is also a very frequently asked question. What are your strengths? You need to have few strengths ready so that you can explain to them. What are your weaknesses? Be very careful about this. You don't want to like say that I'm very weak. Just say one or two weaknesses, and then you need to say that I have worked on them, then I have improved myself. Then mention that I'm improving on them, I'm doing few courses, or this is how I did my improvement. Why should we hire you, or what can you do for us that other candidates can't? So this is also a very typical question. Why do you want to work here? So these are very generic questions. Be prepared for this. You get asked about these questions in every interview. So for generic questions which are asked in every interview, write down your answers in a Word doc, because these questions will be asked in every interview. So every time you don't want to think about the answers, every time you don't want to make up answers. So go through your profile, go through your resume, write down your answers in a Word document. These are very specific to you and your Selenium experience or project. So that's why I'm not going to provide answers for this. It is very hard for me to provide answers for these generic questions because these are very specific to you. Very specific and customized answers will be there based on your experience and your profile, your personal stuff. So that's why you need to write down the answers for these questions. So write down the answers for these questions, by heart them thoroughly. It makes those answers available immediately, because within the interview you don't want to think about these answers. You don't want to take time, or you don't want to struggle answering these questions. The answer should come immediately from your mind. when you are answering like that, when you are answering immediately with confidence, then that is going to make interviewers believe that you have that experience, you have done that, you are very confident about this job role. Yes, it's going to be hard and frustrating to write down the answers, but it is a good practice. Once you do that, let's say it is going to take few hours, 2 hours or 3 hours, but once you do that, you can by heart those answers. You have those ready in your mind, and in every interview you can happily answer those questions, and it's like you are reusing those answers in every interview. So it is a good practice. Please start doing that. Then coming to the Selenium interview questions, from your resume, there are different categories of interview questions. So be prepared for those. It is just not like what is Selenium or how this is going to work. It's not like that. There are different categories of interview questions. You need to be prepared for that. So here I have mentioned few categories. So first one is, what is Selenium, or what is a tool or framework? So it is asking about the definition or about that framework or tool. Here SWD stands for Selenium WebDriver. So SWD is Selenium WebDriver. I have mentioned the short form. So this is like, what is a feature, tool or framework? Then the next question is going a bit in depth, how a feature, tool or framework works, like how Selenium works. You need to explain about the architecture, you need to explain about the internal details. Then this is, how are you implementing a specific tool or feature or framework in your current project. So this is regarding the implementation, like how are you implementing Selenium WebDriver in your current project. Then you need to explain about the implementation, like we are using the page object framework. Then within the page object framework, like we have different page classes to represent each page. Then we have methods to represent each action we can do on a page, like login method for login functionality. Like that, we are writing a specific method for each user action for services that are offered from page, and we are using Selenium WebDriver in the page class. So you need to be explaining about your implementation. Then how will you implement in a given real-time scenario? So this is also very important. They are going to give you a scenario from the job you have applied for. Then in the company, this is the scenario, and how are you going to implement in this scenario? This is also a quite common question. Then we have like the next category regarding challenges or technical issues. What challenges or technical issues did you face with a tool or framework? Like what challenges did you face with Selenium and how did you solve them? This is also quite common. So we have these categories of interview questions, and then be prepared for them. Some websites or someone just provide regarding these two, like how it works or what is a tool, but they are not very much important because you can find them on the internet. It is like regarding the tool or how it works, but these two are not important. These three are really important, like how are you implementing, or how will you implement in a given scenario, or what challenges or technical issues did you face. So these three categories are really important. Then going further, I'm going to provide you different Selenium interview questions and answers considering these categories. What are different Selenium interview questions and answers? Really the top ones and the important ones. I'm going to provide you that. I have a document ready for that. Let me open that document. Let me go to Windows Explorer. This is the document. Here we go. This is the document, and you are going to get 50 plus most popular Selenium interview questions and answers to win your next interview. We have different sections in this document. Let's go through them one by one. So first we have explanation about different categories of interview questions with examples. So you can see the examples here, and then different categories. We have like up to 7 categories. Then we have interview questions about different Selenium components. So we have Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid, then Selenium in general. So all these interview questions are there. Let me go to Selenium WebDriver section. Then you can see what is Selenium WebDriver, and then we have different important questions. Then we have like some related to a code as well. So this is related to code. You can see how to take screenshot using Selenium WebDriver, and then we have answer ready. Then we have TestNG related interview questions. Here we are going to go in depth about TestNG and then different interview questions. Then we have page object pattern related interview questions. We are going to cover page object pattern and then page factory. Then finally we have hybrid automation framework related interview questions. So there are different questions like what is a hybrid automation framework, and then there are more related questions. So let me scroll down, then you can see how are you implementing data driven framework. Then we have the answer ready for that. Then we have questions like, then we have further questions like how are you implementing reporting framework. Then going further, how are you implementing Maven. So all these questions are there with detailed answers. You are going to get this document. Let me go back to the presentation. You can download the Selenium Interview Questions and Answers document from the download link in the description. Going further, thank you for watching this video. Hope the covered topics will help you in your next interview. Also, subscribe to our channel, like the video and comment on the video. In the next video, we are going to look at different strategies around the interview, like scheduling the interview, preparing the interview, and then performing well in the interview. So this is really going to be the core part. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video.